Hey everyone, this is Justin McCabe from 117 West Spirits, and I want to invite you out to check out our new location at the CoLab in Vista at 2129 Industrial Avenue, right off of Thibodaux in Sycamore. Come on out for some delicious cocktails, whiskey tastings, and fun events like live music, bingo, trivia, and delicious food. There's also beer and wine that you can taste there, but you really can't miss 117 West Spirits and all our delicious offerings of craft cocktails and craft spirits. So come on out and check us out, 117 West Spirits.
Welcome to the Grubthusiast Grubcast, where we're on a mission to find the best places to eat, drink, and have a good time. And occasionally, we get to sit down with some of the amazing food artists that make that possible. Thank you for listening as usual. If you like what you hear, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the show. We're here in Vista at 117 West at the distillery. And we're here with Justin McCabe, the owner. And he invited us in today to come and talk about all the things that are happening down here. I guess tomorrow's your grand opening or your opening?
Grand reopening.
Grand reopening. Okay, cool. And just to give a date, today is the 20th. So this is the 21st that it's opening, Thursday the 21st. So listen, I have to say thank you for having me down. I'm actually looking at the glass. What am I drinking here?
You're drinking an old-fashioned. It's a pre-mixed old-fashioned that we served up for an event we had a few weeks ago, which is Chiraya Old Fashioned. Chiraya is one of our kind of specialty whiskeys that's a hopped whiskey, and that particular Old Fashioned is made with honey syrup, cherry and orange bitters, and then Chiraya whiskey, which is a hopped whiskey, which has cherrywood smoked barley in it, and has a little bit of kind of herbal, hoppy flavor to it. So between the honey and the cherry bitters and the cherry smoke, it all kind of comes together pretty good, yeah?
I'm going to be careful with that because that just goes down way too easy. Speaking of easy, I wasn't a gin guy. I never ventured into gin. I was early on, it was either beer or it was vodka. It was some vodka, like Kettle One. I like Kettle One. And then it was scotch, just various ones. The most expensive one I could afford, and that usually was like Johnny Black or Buchanan's or things like that. That's my early age. And then I don't know why I kept, then I had kids and I just kind of stopped drinking for a while, and I just never ventured on and to try various things. I don't know, Madi V. How does she fit? She's your bartender.
She's our head bartender at the CoLab location. Yeah.
She turned me on to this gin drink it blew my mind. And I'm not really a gin guy because I just never, I don't know, gin and tonic long ago. But it wasn't really my jam.
What'd she make you?
She made me a gin martini, and she used jalapeno olives. I'm a gin guy. And I want to drink more of that. She also kind of ruined things for me because I'd kind of been messing around with bourbon. I work part-time over here at this local store. And they have everything under the sun, including your stuff, and which I want to talk about as well, because they don't have the gin currently, which I would like to see there. Because I was so excited after having that one martini. I went back to the job. I was like, oh, man, you got to try it. Oh, and I went, oh, where is it? Oh, God, okay. So, it was so good. It was so very good. And then when she turned me out of the next drink, because in the same night, I had the martini, and I was listening to the music, getting into the vibe, which is, CoLab has a lot of stuff going on every night. They have, I don't know, there's all kinds of crafts things.
Bingo night.
Yeah,
on Tuesdays,
music and trivia, I think.
Trivia night on Wednesdays.
And the crazy part about it is that people don't know about it, and I'm just surprised. I go, yeah, CoLab, and they go, where's that? And I go, CoLab right there next to the freeway. And they go, and I go, yeah, you have to get off the freeway and go around under the freeway, go by Industrial, and then go down the street, look for the little sign, and then it's in between the houses, and I'm, okay, yeah, I think I've been by there.
Yeah, I just tell everybody it's by Deja Vu,
Okay. Now that's to the right. That's to the right, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's a little further east if you're going, east on 78. But gotcha. It's right nearby. And actually, last night was the Deja Vu Bingo.
Okay.
So that's one of the bingo nights that we're actually gonna start doing twice a month now. So you win some fun prizes.
Really? Okay.
If you win the bingo.
I'm going to take one more sip of this.
It puts another meaning in bingo.
Another dimension, yeah. So the drink she turned me on to was bourbon, which I was kind of already messing with, and then a splash of lemonade, and I just can't get enough. And this is right up the same vein.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has. This one's a little bit stronger alcohol, but yeah, if she just did a splash of the lemonade,
so good.
Yeah, bourbon lemonade, whiskey lemonade. We'd make a product, or not a product, but on tap down there right now, we've got our West Coast lemonade, which is our West Coast whiskey, which is a single malt, and it's blended with pink lemonade, and good. It's pretty delicious, pretty refreshing on a day like today.
You know, I typically go after drinks that are straight, because I mean in the 90s we'd go out to party and whatever, and I'd end up having those apple teenies or whatever, or something like that. Cosmopolitan, my wife was drinking them. Then I'd wake up the next morning and feel like a zombie. So I stopped doing that, and I started going just for like martinis or scotch or something like that, and I seem fine. Now I'm back on these drinks. You made me go dive into a whole new realm. And if you haven't, like I said, if you haven't been down to 117 West in CoLab, you need to go down. It's a ton of fun. It seems like there's a party every night, and the music has been consistently good. There's that one guy that he kind of backs himself up. He was there last time. And then there was another guy before that had a backup as a fiddle, and a fiddle guy, and they were playing all the yacht rock tracks, the Chicago Eagles. I don't know, they were playing everything, and just two guys. Sounded fantastic. And then the food, they have the Baby's Badass burgers, which I love their sliders, and then I haven't really tried the beer that much. Propaganda wine I've tried. But I want more people to know about CoLab. I want them to get down there, because I think it is a bit of an effort that you have to make to find it, go there, and but you need to go if you haven't gone.
It's a fun spot.
It's a fun spot. And then now that you're there, now the wife says, "Where are we going Friday or Saturday?" And I'll say, "Well, you were going to go back there. We've had the CoLab. We've had those burgers before." Yeah, I know. But I've had the last 3 Saturdays. I've had Madi V has made it fun. Just so you know, she's worth her weight in gold. She is, she's made the 3 occasions there fun.
Yeah, she's great. She's got a great personality. She's knows what she's doing. She has a lot of experience. Yeah. She's developed several of the cocktails that are on our menu. Like one drink that we came up with a name called Spa Day, but it's pretty popular. I guess people really want a spa day when they see that. But it's a gin-based drink too, with blueberry and cucumber and elderflower liqueur. And wow. That's a tasty one. It's great having a bartender that knows how to make the spirits kind of like be showcased, which is really what we go after. A lot of our cocktails down there and here in the tasting room are more like pre-prohibition style, more traditional style cocktails, because they feature the spirit more. It's not about trying to hide the spirit. We want the flavor of the spirit to come through.
For sure. So look, let me ask you, Matt, how did you start this? I mean, were you working in spirits before, or just out of nowhere you decided to come into this?
Yeah, no, I was brewing beer at home down in Ocean Beach while I was in graduate school at UCSD. And working towards a doctorate in chemistry, and a buddy of mine and I started making beer in my backyard in Ocean Beach, and like a lot of people in San Diego, went to the homebrew mart over in like Bay Park down the hill from USD, and started playing around with things. Didn't really know what we were doing, but read a lot. And between my science background and his kind of more like engineering background and approach, we pretty quickly became happy with what we were making, and
really happy with that. Must have come out really well.
Yeah, and that passion continued on for like a good 10 years, and I was up in LA for a while teaching high school chemistry, but continued to make beer, and the beer was like a continued passion of mine. And then when I moved back down to San Diego back like around 2014, 2013, some friends suggested that we consider turning that passion into an actual business. But I questioned whether we should open a brewery, because at the time I think there was, this was 10 years ago, but there were like 120 breweries or something. And I know there's way more than that now.
Yeah.
And it may not have been such a bad idea to open a brewery, but I didn't see too many craft distilleries. I think at that point, Ballast Point was the only one that was actually open. There were a couple others in the works that opened soon thereafter. Yeah, it's still really not a lot of craft distilleries in the San Diego area. There's a good number of us, but it's still kind of a challenging market compared to beer because we can't self-distribute. Nonetheless, that passion for science and for beer came together with the support of a couple friends as this 117 West Spirits. Basically just went full throttle, wrote a business plan. We all, put the money we had together and, built this location out here on La Mirada. The tasting room's at 2332 La Mirada, Suite 800. And it's been 7 years since we opened. We opened December 2017. A lot of people ask about the name. It's our longitude. 117 degrees west is our longitude. And there's a couple ideas behind the name. One is a lot of breweries were doing latitude 33, 32 north. And I said, well, why not longitude? And we really wanted to embrace the idea that we were a West Coast brand, that we were trying to make whiskey on the West Coast, that everything we do is kind of embodying the style and the innovation that usually West Coast products bring to the market. And along with that, we also found out that our still, which was handmade in Colville, Washington, which is a very unique style still. It's one of the only kind, if not the only kind, that exists that's exactly like it in the world. Colville, Washington turns out to be right on 117 degrees west.
Oh, wow.
So it came right down that longitude line from the Canadian border to the Mexican border.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you've been in this location 7 years?
Yep.
Okay. I wish I knew that.
Well, it'll be 7 years December.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish I knew that. And the tasting rooms, what are the hours here?
The hours here are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 to 8 on Thursday and Friday, and 3 to 8 Saturday. We would consider expanding the hours. We just don't get a lot of traffic here. Not a lot of people know about us.
Right.
That was part of the motivation behind opening a CoLab too. But it seems like not too many people know about CoLab either. So we're trying to just drive awareness of ourselves, of CoLab and the other businesses there. I don't know if it's just people are still hiding after COVID or what's going on, but people need to get out and have some drinks and have some fun. And we would love to see more and more customers come out and check out our product.
Well, hopefully through the show we'll get to see a bit more of that because I'm championing that place. I've had too many good times now. I've probably been going there I don't know, a few months now, and I've been there 10 times, easy. I love live music. They need more food. I'll tell you that. They bring in some tacos.
Tacos? You think tacos?
I think tacos. not that we need another taco joint, but I think that would be a great combo. It would kind of suit everybody, There
are rumors of a pizza place going in there.
Pizza. Okay. It better be really good pizza. Anyways, cheers, man.
Cheers.
This is really delicious. It's really delicious. So tell me about the product line.
Well, when we first started, we needed to have something to sell.
Yeah.
And so we produced white rum and our gin that you were discussing earlier. And the white rum is based on like a cachaça, more like a Brazilian style rum. Yeah. So it's meant to be really light and smooth, not the kind of crazy, funky Caribbean rum that you encounter with some other products.
We should make note of that because we only have one cachaça where we work.
Yeah.
So that would be good to know that we could actually move that and focus that on your brand.
Yeah, it would be good. And we do, we distribute that. So you guys should have that in your store.
Okay.
But then we also make a spiced rum version of that. So we just take that white rum and spice it with things like vanilla and orange, and lemon peel, allspice, cloves. Everybody describes it like Christmas when they smell it.
Okay. A lot of like baking spices.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nutmeg, cinnamon, that
Nutmeg. No cinnamon, but the allspice kind of takes over
Yeah.
that flavor and characteristic.
I think I need to try that, and I think I need to try a rum drink with Madi V, because so far she's made me a gin liker. Bourbon was not really on. I like Scotch, but bourbon is starting to kind of find my way there. But now with the lemonade, oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah, you should try the rum punch.
What's that? Was that like
A rum punch is basically that's her recipe, and it's a white and spiced rum, along with pineapple, orange, lime, and a little simple syrup.
Really fresh,
Really fresh.
And,
Yeah.
But I want to try your rum because I'm not a rum guy. Okay, so I liked Appleton's with Coke.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've had what is it called? Bacardi, regular Superior Bacardi, 151, of course, because when you're young and dumb, that's what you do. You try and light it on fire. But besides that, I tried a couple rums where I work, and I just haven't found my way. So if you have a way for me to if you have something that I could try, I would like to try that.
Yeah, well, we can definitely do that. We could do it right now, but I don't know if you want me to.
No, I don't think I should.
You got a cocktail right now. So.
Yeah, I would get into trouble. We'll get in the weeds real fast. Okay, so you had the rum, the gin.
Yeah.
Well, what was next?
Speaking to the gin is a little different than a lot of other gins you'll encounter. It's a Genever style gin, so that means it's basically a Dutch style gin.
Okay.
So the Dutch style gin predates London dry style.
Okay.
Basically, the British stole the gin from the Dutch and made their own version of it, which is drier, kind of more piney and bitter, based on how they produce it. The idea of a Genever style is to actually.
Can I stop you once?
Yeah.
What is the style again?
Genever.
Genever.
Some people call it Genever.
Okay.
I was told by somebody who's Belgian who speaks Dutch that it's Geneva.
Oh, I'm not questioning you.
And so I don't know. I might be saying it wrong.
No. I just wanted.
I do my best to try and pronounce things correctly.
Yeah. No, I wasn't questioning you. I was just trying to make sure I heard.
Yeah.
So I could get later on.
What Geneva means is, or Geneva is, it means juniper in Dutch.
Okay.
And so the idea was it was supposed to be a medicinal product back in the 1600s. And they basically took the difference from a dry style, which is usually a vodka base, is we actually make our base distillate in-house from barley, wheat, and rye. And we don't distill it to grain neutral, meaning not like vodka where there's no flavor or anything. And so it stays around 160 proof coming off the still. Still high. It's 80% alcohol, but it's not, vodka proof. And then we don't infuse any of the botanicals in the gin before distillation. We only add and infuse them during distillation using a gin basket. So just the vapor of the ethanol is extracting all the oils and all the flavors, which makes for kind of a lighter, less bitter, more approachable, easier drinking gin. And then we have an aged version of that too that spends like 6 to 9 months in used whiskey barrel. And that one's a big hit too because it rounds out all the kind of slightly rough edges. I think the gin's pretty approachable, like you said earlier, to begin with. But yeah, that one's the aged has become very popular amongst our loyal customers.
Does it impart a bit of a color to it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's so any spirit that has color is either aged in a barrel or it's been infused with some kind of flavor.
Yeah.
But if it's that traditional kind of like whiskey brown, orange, golden hue, it's been in a barrel.
I've never seen a dark gin.
Yeah, it's a newer phenomenon, and actually only recently, maybe I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, the U.S. government actually recognized it as a thing where you could have an aged gin.
Okay,
people were coming up with crazy names like I think Ken down at Malahat called his like barrel vacation gin or something like that.
Okay, because then it kind of blends. Oh, it kind of bleeds over to the styles. Then I mean, you have.
It kind of is, especially the way we make our gin in terms of our base. When we put in a barrel, you start get whiskey characteristics.
Yeah, right.
And it's almost more like a hybrid whiskey gin in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Well, okay. I don't know what I had. I don't know what Marty V gave me. Probably your clear gin.
Yeah, I think so. Probably. Yeah.
And it was eye opening. It was eye opening because I really don't remember having any feelings about gin before. Yeah. Like Tanqueray or someone says Tanqueray, or what's that other one? The English guard
Beefeater.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them over there, and I just never felt any connection. Yeah. But when I had that, it was so, and I think it was the addition of the jalapeno olives that really kind of made it nice too.
Those are pretty tasty.
The little kick of the chili at the end.
Yeah.
I wanted to try a Gibson next. With the olives. That again, see, I don't typically do that. I usually just go, right down the same old road, simple, whatever. But now I'm all excited to try these various drinks. And I'm going to say, I don't want to blow smoke, but this is the only place, and I don't know if it's Monty V, I don't know if it's the her talent or it's the variety of things you have available. But I've never even thought about venturing down that road. As a matter of fact, I think the other day. The inspiration from this made me venture into a flavored Starbucks drink the other day. Yeah. They said, I usually get a flat white. And then they said, you want a little cocoa in there? And, no, yeah. And I had a little bit of white cocoa in my flat white. And I was like, wow, this is so good. So the gin sounds incredible. I mean, if it's anything like the Gibson's, anything like what I had, I'm going to be really happy with that. And now I want to try that aged one. The barrel age. That sounds that sounds interesting too. After the gin, what was next? What was your next?
The next thing that we released, which it took us about 6 months to release any whiskey because we chose and we still use smaller barrels, but we started out with small 5-gallon barrels that we actually got from Balcones, which is a distillery in Waco, Texas.
Yeah, Balcones.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And they basically didn't give us, but we were able to buy at a good price pallets.
That's
of
cool.
These little 5-gallon barrels because they were switching to bigger barrels, and we did probably our first 2 years everything was coming out of those little 5-gallon barrels, and then we slowly transitioned into 10s, 15s. Pretty much everything we have now is in 15-gallon barrels as far as whiskey, but then we're putting everything we're making now into 30-gallon barrels. So it's been a process over 7 years to slowly build up the inventory so that we can slowly start to use bigger barrels, which we are starting to see benefits from using bigger barrels in terms of the flavor. There's also cost benefits too, in terms of just like footprint for storage and, just the 30-gallon barrel doesn't cost twice as much as a 15-gallon barrel. But
Can I go back to what you were saying about the? You said the flavor was different from the new barrels or the bigger barrels.
Yeah. It's just you don't get the small barrels do a really nice job of making a whiskey pretty quickly, but you get a lot of oak extraction. So you have to be really careful not to let them sit in those barrels too long because you can easily over oak the whiskey. Yeah. Which a lot of people want a really oaky bourbon or a really oaky rye, but at the same time. You don't want to make it like so oaky and tannic that it's just going to be like undrinkable. Yeah. So,
I love the fact that your education came into play here. You know what I mean? Like you could have gone down the road of like doing all the, this chemistry down the road and doing it, in the Scholastic or doing it like at a corporation, like some big, some big corporation making, I don't know, bombs. But, but instead you decided to make this fantastic beverage that it makes people smile. How'd you be better than that? So back to what you're saying. It's really great. So, but here's this is ignorant. I'm ignorant of all of this, right? So the smaller barrels, how does it make the whiskey faster?
So basically it's the idea of like surface area to volume ratio. So there's more contact with the actual spirit, per amount of volume.
Okay.
It's like,
smaller quantity.
Yeah. You can get into like biology and surface area to volume
Well, I guess
the idea of trying to maximize, like, why are you round? That's why the barrels also work better because they're kind of like cylindrical. But nonetheless, you get faster extraction. You also get more evaporation though. So we were losing like a gallon after 6 months of aging.
And you sure wasn't somebody, one of your employees going back with a straw? He's like, I don't know. It evaporated.
No, it was not that.
I'm joking. Though.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's what they call the angel share. So it was the angels going back there and sucking it up.
Enjoying it. Yeah.
But yeah, so the first thing we released in terms of whiskey was actually our rye whiskey, which is one of my favorite products, to be honest. It's rye malt whiskey, which is different. We really embrace the inspiration of my brewing background. I mean, it's just home brewing. I was never a commercial brewer, but I came across a book when I was looking into opening a distillery about turning craft beer.
Cheers again.
Cheers, man. Turning craft beer into whiskey, and that was really the inspiration for this whole place.
Because that process is, you're starting with the wort. Is that what it's called?
Well, yeah. So you start with the grain, right?
Yeah.
Your raw material is grain, and like one of the things that's a differentiator for us now is we bring in all our grain from a place called Admiral Maltings, which is up in Alameda, and they're the only malt house, at least that I'm aware of, in California. They do traditional floor malting, which I think makes an impact on the quality and the flavor as well. And then they source all their grain from California. So like 95% of our grain that goes into our whiskey, and it also includes our gin. All of our grain-based products are made from 95% California sourced farms, right? So it's sourced grain from farms in California, mainly up and down the Central Valley and some north of Sacramento. But yeah, I think that's something that we feel is very important to be supporting all your local state, our local economy, not, having grain being shipped all over the country.
Which is also bad for the environment.
Exactly, yeah. So we're reducing carbon emissions by using more local products. The farmers use sustainable practices, which actually, by doing no-till agriculture, which some of them do, retains more carbon in the soil. So there's lots of different benefits to using grain from California and from particularly these farmers. And I think also ultimately it makes a much better product. But so we're using rye now from Admiral. We started with, in the early days, just getting it from, our local suppliers that source it from, say, like the Midwest.
Well, wherever you
typically.
can.
And we're paying a little bit more by, using this product. But the rye, in my opinion, is really, really good because, number one, it's rye malt. I think the malt makes a big difference. And so you're starting with the grain, right, that's being harvested out of the field. The malting process actually goes through like germination and then basically like a cooling process to stop germination, and then a drying process to like totally halt it, and then actually add a little flavor to it. You're drying it out, but then you kind of like are toasting it a little bit.
Yeah.
And the degree that or the temperature you toast it to can affect the flavors as well.
Yeah.
And so we really base all of our whiskeys on malted products. So we have the rye whiskey, which is rye malt, has a little bit of chocolate malt in it.
Yeah.
Which is makes it even more interesting and kind of sweet on the finish.
Cocoa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we have the Chiraya, which we're drinking here, which is a hopped whiskey. And that one's interesting. It's cherry wood smoked rye IPA is kind of like the concept behind it, which is a beer I made as a home brewer.
And that's one of your products, the Chiraya?
Chiraya, yeah. So that's what's in this old fashioned we're drinking.
Yeah.
And then we have our West Coast whiskey, which is basically kind of like a stout beer or porter hybrid in terms of the grain. We use a bunch of two-row, but then some like Victory and Vienna malts, which you add some like kind of caramel notes and some nutty notes. And then we all use roasted and chocolate barley. So it comes out looking like a dark, like stout when the wort's coming out from the mash. And then we distill that. And when we use a pot still like we use, it retains a lot of those flavors. And they, excuse me, they stay in the distillate and really just, I think it accentuated all those residual sugars and things that come out. And remain, and even in the distillate a little bit, those flavors like really evolve into interesting, complex flavors as they age in the barrel.
That's awesome.
And then we have Yellow Gold, which is a wheat malt whiskey.
Okay.
And that one is called Yellow Gold because the wheat comes from Yellow County.
Okay.
But I like the reference to the you only live once too, obviously.
Yeah, that's cool.
The final one is our California single malt, which is
Single malt whiskey.
yeah, it's a single malt whiskey, and we call it California single malt because it's based on a recipe which was the first one we did with Admiral Maltings. That was 100% California grown barley,
Right.
And it's all malted by them, and it has some of their. It's basically kind of like a Munich malt, I guess you could say, which is their midway, and then also like a Kilnsmith, which is like a caramel malt, and that with the other base malt makes for kind of like a reddish wort, so more like an amber beer or like a red ale. And then we distill that and age it in used barrels. So that's a big difference for the single malt, is we actually put it in used barrels. So hopefully we eventually do. When it ages for a couple years in these used barrels, it's going to get more of a kind of a malt forward spirit, and it's a little bit lighter in color than say like the bourbon or the rye or our West Coast whiskey, which are all aged in new barrels. So you have a lot kind of darker, deeper color.
Yeah. And that how old's that single malt?
The batch we have right now is at least 2 years old. I think it's a blend of a couple different barrels, which are all at least 2 years old. None of them more than like 30 months. Yeah. So between 24 and 30 months, but they're all 15-gallon barrels. So.
And you can taste all these, come in on any day of the week and just try all these.
Yeah. So CoLab, you can go down there and taste those. You can do a whiskey flight. You can just do a spirit flight and mix and match. You're limited to 1.5 ounces, or 3 half-ounce pours for the flight. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday here at the tasting room, you can come in and, talk to Doug or Thomas or myself, whoever's working, and we can talk you through the different whiskeys or make suggestions based on what you're interested in what you like, and what you've tasted outside of our product line. And
can you get Madi V's cocktails here as well?
Oh yeah. We have her cocktails. She's not making them, obviously. Yeah. She did work here for a while before we opened up at CoLab, but and occasionally she'll come work over here if she switches shifts or whatever. But we have those on the special menu here too.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I'm a fan. I can't even tell you how much because none of this. I mean, as I said, I stuck to my spirits. Just had them simple because I don't want the sugar. But now with all these extra flavors and things, it just tastes fresh. It tastes summer. Like this is a summer drink for me.
There you go.
And that
summer old fashioned.
Yeah, it's a summer old fashioned, and that same with the lemonade and the bourbon. It's just summer over the ice. You have a couple, and you're happy.
Yeah.
So and there's other little shops in the area right in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
That enhance that even further. So. But so tell me what's going on at CoLab. Is there anything coming up that you're kind of coming forward with? I mean,
in terms of products or events?
Products, events, people.
We just had a whiskey tasting this last Sunday, which was a big hit. We had about 19 people show up, and we'll probably be doing that again. Maybe not this next month, but the following month. Next month, we're planning on a cigar whiskey event.
Yeah.
So that's
great. I got to go. I'm coming.
September 12th.
Yeah.
6
cool.
to 9 p.m. out on the patio.
Yeah.
We'll be basically serving you guys whiskey flights or old fashions, and you can light up a cigar. And our friend from Barrel and Stave, Chris White's going to be out there too.
Yeah.
And
cool.
He usually has a good selection of cigars if you want to show up empty-handed. Okay. So yeah.
So you already have a cigar source.
Yeah.
Okay. So just oddly enough, I had talked to another brand last year, and it was fun because I had them meet me at Lord Puffer in Escondido.
Okay.
And I talked to those guys a few times. I go in there and buy a cigar every once in a while. So I said, do you mind if I do a show? Like I bring my equipment, we sit there in your little entry area. And they were like, yeah, that's fine. So we didn't talk for a while, and I just said, I'm coming down. He said, what day you want to come? I'll come down Thursday. Okay. So I arrive on Thursday, and they put us in their VIP room in the back. We got TVs and leather couches and cigar lockers and whatever. We were back there for 3 hours, and I don't remember much at that because we were just, we tried the whole line. Delicious. So I'm looking forward to this cigar night. Yeah.
If you like cigars and whiskey, you got to come out and check it out.
Yeah.
I only kind of recently got back into smoking cigars, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great thing. Yeah.
These are all vices. I hate to endorse them. They're like,
well, but in moderation, right? In moderation.
Yeah, I have a hard time with moderation. I do. I mean, I told you the other night I was there. We were at the spot, and I had 3 too many. It was just so good. It was just the music was hitting. And some other thing was happening, and it was just this, and couldn't be better.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's the idea.
As a matter of fact, you know what's happening Saturday? Is there something going on music-wise Saturday?
I should know.
It's all right.
I'm sure there's
look it up
live
online.
music this Saturday, but I forget off the top of my head who it is.
You gonna be there? You gonna be there Saturday?
I will be actually working here Saturday.
Okay.
I'll be there during the day.
Okay.
But then Thomas is actually working down there on Saturday.
Where's Marty gonna be there or no?
No, she's actually taking the weekend off.
Okay. Okay, no, it's all right. It's all right. I got to readjust my weekend now.
Oh yeah,
but it's all right. Well, it's all right. We'll figure it out.
She'll be back there the following weekend, but she's got to get the time off.
Sure, I know. I'm not blaming her much. But good times, good times. So look, man, is there anything else you want to talk about that we should let people know about that are important? Because I'm going to endorse you all day long. I want to do some videos. I want to post them online. I want to keep this going for a little bit. I love the place, man. I love what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. I guess I would like to make a little shameless pitch for our grand reopening that we mentioned earlier.
There's no shame to my game.
And so we were closed down for a couple weeks here by the ABC, but now we're reopening tomorrow, August. I think it's actually 22nd tomorrow, right? On Thursday, the 22nd.
Yeah.
And so the tasting room here will be reopened, and part of that effort, we're going to be opening up our Barrel Club membership, which is a limited membership, limited to 50 members. We only have about 21 members currently, so there's still plenty of spots available.
Cool.
And
how would they go about doing that?
You can actually, you could come in and you can sign up, and I would encourage you to come in, check it out, taste the whiskey, make sure you like it.
Yeah.
And we have 4 specific releases for the Barrel Club. The first one is actually a cask strength, so it's 113 proof whiskey.
Yeah.
So
one sip is all you can have.
Straight, yeah. Some people are super into the cask strength stuff.
Oh man, it can be smooth.
And the idea is, it was like that barrel just tasted so good that you didn't need to proof it down or add any water. You just want to taste it as it is. So we did that, and that's our first release. And then we're going to be releasing a 3-year-old brandy.
Yeah, cool.
And that's going to be the next release. And then we'll have a rum cask finished yellow gold. Okay. And then we'll have a stout cask finished whiskey, likely a West Coast whiskey, in the spring. Okay. And so you, if you want to join, you can join here in the tasting room. If you're currently on our mailing list, we're sending out a link today or tomorrow, and you can actually join with that link. But if you're not on our mailing list and you're just hearing about us for the first time, I really encourage you to come check out the tasting room or CoLab. But if you're interested in the Barrel Club, super unique, limited, typically cask finished whiskeys, also a brandy in this year's release. It's $217, and that gets you those 4 whiskeys. Typically, we'd be charging something like $75 a spot for each of those whiskeys and or brandy, because they're very unique. But in this case, you're getting them for a little over 50. So I think it's a pretty good deal. And then you also would get 15% off, and you get invited to all the release events. We do basically bottle release parties quarterly when we do those, and try and get people out here and have fun.
That sounds good. I'm in. I want to join. I'm gonna. Yeah, no, I think it's a lot of fun. I think you have a good setup here. I think that the variety of things that I've tasted so far they're all good. They're all really good. And your setup over there at CoLab's great. And I wish you much luck, brother. I
appreciate it. Thank you.
And so going forward, man, anything we can do for you to kind of promote your product and get it out there, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, let me know. So thank you for having us down again. It was great. And this old fashioned. Now I'm addicted to these.
Well, cheers.
Oh, cheers. Oh man. Okay, so would you give them the address? Actually, I'm going to do something else. Hang on one sec. All right, guys. Liz, thanks for listening. We will talk to you soon. Have a great day.